Howdy folks, this will be probably our last big pen assignment, and it is kind of large in scope. You're going to make 4 sprites, and I want you to try this without the hints videos first, okay, like I always do. Again, I can't force you to. I guess I could force you to. I could get rid of the hints videos, but I'm not going to. I just want to remind you that if you'd like to program, if you think this is interesting or fun, you should try to get better at it by practicing as much as you can. So pause the video here if you want to read this list. Otherwise, I'm going to go through and start with the first one. I'm going to make a simple sprite, probably the kitty cat, that asks the user for the size of the triangle they want to draw, and then asks them how many they want to draw at random angles and random colors and random locations. Random locations, angles, and colors, okay? So I'm going to close this down for a sec, and we'll come back and do 2, 3, and 4 in a minute. But let's go draw some triangles, okay? So again, I think I'm going to do this one when this sprite is clicked. When I click that kitty cat, we're going to ask them, what are we going to ask them? Ask them the size, and then draw a triangle, okay? We've done this before, so see if you can remember how. Obviously, we're going to put the pen down, and what the heck, we're going to clear? No, I'll leave the clear out. Put the pen down, ask the size. So let's actually do that before we put the pen down. Say size of triangle, and obviously that's going to go in the variable answer, and we're going to draw a triangle, okay? So pause for a sec if you haven't already and see if you remember how to draw the triangle. Remember, we're going to move. Let's just draw a 10-step triangle first, and then we'll draw a size triangle. And in a minute, we'll make variables. Well, let's get in the habit of doing it now. Let's make a variable called size. It's going to make our program make more sense than putting answer everywhere, because answer isn't a very good variable name. It doesn't mean size. Okay, so set size to answer. We've done this before. Well, I said we were going to draw the 10 triangle first. Okay, let's do that. Kitty cat, are we going to use change x's and y's? Well, we could move 10, but then we have to move diagonal. We haven't really done that with change x's and y's. We kind of have to alternate, move up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, and repeat that several times. We could get a triangle that way. It might be a little jagged, but it's going to be a lot better to use move and turn. So let's move some steps. We've done this before. Turn left or right. It's your choice. You can make any kind of triangle, but it's going to make more sense for me to turn left. Do you remember how many degrees? If I turn 45 degrees, the cat's going to start going this way. If I turn 90 degrees, it's going to start going up. And if I turn 180 degrees, it's going to go the opposite direction. So let's turn, I think we need to do some math. That's a big part of this one, is we need to use math as often as we can. So remember from the last lesson that 360 degrees gets us back to the beginning. So if we have 360 degrees to get all the way back to the beginning, we need to divide that by 3 sides of a triangle, or 3 times the kitty goes. Move once, turn, move once, turn, and then move again and turn to finish it off. So this one is 120 degrees, and we need to repeat this. Well, remember, we can duplicate it 3 times, but let's just put a repeat block around it. And let's just make sure this works. Kitty, kitty. Oh, you just spun around in a circle, kitty. And it looks, 10 times. What am I doing? What am I doing? 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we got a little triangle. That's review. That's how long did I spend reviewing? 4 minutes. Let's go a little faster, okay? Now, if you got this far, and I hope you are, I want you to, actually, let's get the clear out so we can get a new triangle every time for now. I want you to see if you can swap this out, okay? When do we need to ask them for the size? Well, before we start drawing, right? So, but even before, let's do clear, ask the size of the triangle, and then set the size, okay? Maybe I'll put the, I'll leave it all in 1, okay. How big is your triangle, buddy? It's 10. Well, let's do it. How big is this triangle going to be? When did I use the variable size that I made over here? Well, never. I set the size and then I never used it again. Do you know where size needs to go? Do you change this number? Is it 3, 4, 5. No, that's the sides. What's this number? How far the cat moves? That looks like 10. Do we put size in the degrees? No, because then it'll change. It won't draw a triangle anymore. So there's only one good place for size. Let's try it. Okay. And I'll click on the sprite. 30. Oop, 3 minus. I'll do a little teeny one. Let's click you again. 30. Okay, bigger. Let's click again. 100. And bigger. Let's click again. 1,000. And this is the answer I never gave you last time, is why the kitty cat in a previous assignment drew funky triangles, why it didn't finish it off. Well, by looking at this triangle, can you tell why? Yeah, when the cat gets to the edge, it can't leave the stage in Scratch. In some programming languages it can. So I think it scoots along the edge. Can't actually quite tell, but kitty cat never made it home, right? I don't know where you are, kitty cat. Usually you can see the cat somewhere. So let's get a go to here somewhere. Go to 0, 0, 0. Let's have that cat go back to the middle. And oops, I can't click on the sprite. Oh no, let's bring this out. There we go. Oh, he was down off in La La Land. Okay, he'd gone clear down in the bottom corner. Maybe you saw the cat. I sure didn't. Okay, so click that again. 30. All right, now to finish this off, we need this cat to draw random locations, random angles, and random colors. Whew, that's a lot of random. Okay, well, random locations, we don't have to ask the user in this case. What's the location where it's going to draw it? Well, it was 0, 0 here. If it's 100 and negative 100 here, where's the cat going to draw? Well, that's 100 and negative 100, 100 positive x and a negative 100 y. So let's put some random numbers in there. We've done this before. How low can my x go? We'll move the mouse around and see if you can find the number. Okay, negative 240 is the lowest, and that means positive. 240 is the highest. Let's go pick a random y. How high can my y go? Looks like 180. And the low is negative 180. Okay. And now, random colors. What's next? Random angles. Oh, it always draws the same pretty triangle. What determines where the cat starts? Like, he always starts because I put him there. I put him at direction 90. We never change the angle, so let's go change the angle. Move, turn. Yeah, we can do turn some random degrees, left or right. We can also point in a direction. I actually like point in direction. Let's go look at the cat's numbers. It can go as low as 0 up here. Oh, no, it goes lower. It goes to negative 180 down there. And up to positive 180 down there. That's 360 degrees total, but we got negative and positive sides. So we're going to point in direction, and you could go 0 through 360. It actually works. But technically, it's negative 180 to positive 180 before you start drawing, kitty cats. We're going to go somewhere random, point somewhere random. We're going to set the pen color. Now, here's the deal. We can't do a random color in here. Where can we get a random color from? And I told you wrong one time. I told you that scratch pen color. There we are. I actually Googled this the other day, and I thought it was between 0 and 255 because there's 255 bits in an 8-byte variable, but it's 200 colors, okay? So we need to pick a color value between, come on, you can do this, between, if it goes from 0 to 200 or 0 to 199, then we should do that, okay? So we got all random stuff right here, and this is great, okay? Now we're not done yet. This draws one circle of, it's not even a random size. Do we need to ask the user? Yeah, we're asking the user for a size, huh? Man, I wish we were drawing random sizes again. But let's do this. We're going to ask the user for their size first, and then go draw a bunch of random triangles, okay? So, hey, how big a triangle do you want? Let's clear first. I like putting that clear at the top to start over. And then, how size is your triangle, bud? And then, rather than draw, well, let's go try this. We haven't actually tested it yet. 30. Oop, that didn't look right. 30. That is not a triangle. What did I do wrong? Pen down, set, point in direction, pen move steps, Move, turn, move, turn. What's going on here, Grammar? How'd you break that? 10. Whoa, your turning is not working. Turn left, 120. Oh, are we, no, we're not going off. Let's go to 0, 0. Oh, maybe we're going to the side too much. That might be what it is. No, that can't be it. Set size, random. Man, I should pause this, but this is killing me. 10. Oh, the pen's down. We're not clearing at the right time. We need to get that pen back up when we're done, right? Okay, that was what's going on. Okay. So click that, 30. So there's my 30 triangle, but a line to get there. Okay, cat. I couldn't see past the cat. Wait, pen up did not help. Did it? Clear. Let's try it one more time. There we go. 40, 10. Okay. Now what do I need to repeat random times to get a bunch of random triangles and random colors and everything? I don't want to ask the size every time. Okay, so I need to repeat everything past that. Go somewhere random, point random, change random. Change the pen color by 10. What are you doing there? Not that that matters, but draw the triangle. And this block, remember, this is called draw the triangle, that block. Later on we'll understand that. Actually, probably in the next unit. So, okay, click the cat, 100, blah, 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 blah. Ooh, there we go. That is pretty. Okay, that's the whole point of this assignment, is to get some pretty random art going. Now, I'm going to clear. Let's do when the green flag is clicked clear. That's going to make it a little cleaner. And let's go on to sprite 2. Okay, that was the first one. I went a little further. Ask the user for the size of a square they want to draw. Ask the user how many squares to draw. Draw them at fixed intervals to fill the scratch stage. Why did I put this in here? That's going to be kind of hard. But I'm committed. We're doing this, even though we are, how many minutes in? 12 minutes in. Let's get going a little faster. Okay, so sprite 2, I'm going to click green flag and clear the stage. And make a new sprite. Anybody we want? Let's do Abby. And shrink her down. And shrink them both, actually. The cat could be a little smaller, and then I could see the triangles behind him. Shrink Abby down. Okay, and I'm going to reuse a lot of this code, right? I'm going to actually take this block, duplicate it, drag it over to Abby. You don't have to do this. You could take all that time. Oops. Pen up, pen down before we draw. Come on, keep it in order, Grammar. I just wanted Abby to be able to draw a square right off the bat, okay? So this is the hard part, right? We're moving some steps. Oh, size is there again. We're going to ask for the size again. I'm not going to duplicate that. I'm going to ask. Do we ask? Yeah, ask for the size of your square. And then we could make another variable called size2, and we could make private variables for this sprite only, but we're only going to click on one sprite at a time in this project, so technically we can just ask for the size and set size to the answer again. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about private variables later. Okay, ask for the size, draw the square. Now this is the weird part, okay? Not weird. Fix this. Fix it. Make it draw a square instead. How many sides in a square? The size stays the same. You ask the size. When the sprite is clicked still. But, well, you know how many sides. This used to be a triangle and draw 3 sides. So where I saw a 3, I put a 4 instead and draw 4 sides. If I draw now, and I turn 120 degrees every time, hey, you have no pen color. Pen down. Pen down. Try that again. 30. Whoa, we just drew. If I could slow her down, we did this before, we'd see that she drew 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, and we duplicated a side 4. So it's not just the sides, it's also the amount of degrees we turn. What are the corners of a square like? You know this. Why am I even doing this? You should know all this. 45 sides. Okay, now she's not random colors. That's fine. We don't want to waste too much time. We want to fill. Oh, we do need to have her pointing right though, because I want exact squares. For me at least. And I'm not going to turn right. I'm going to turn left. And you know what? You can turn, or sorry, we can turn left. I mean, -90. That means turn right 90. Okay, and that's going to confuse some people, so let's throw that away. Turn right 90 degrees, because if she does start up here, I want her to draw her square up there. Okay, so 100, oops, that's a 1. 100. All right, how do we fill the screen with that size of triangles, or that size of squares, I mean, okay? If you see up here, I could probably fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 of them or so. But rather than guess, I want you to pause for a minute and see what math could I do to figure out how many 100-sided squares, or 10 or 50 or any size squares could fit in this stage. And you're like, well, that's impossible. No one could ever know that. And I'm like, no. People who know math can figure stuff like this out. That's kind of the point of math. It's not just to solve equations, it's to solve problems. Okay, pause for a sec, see if you can figure it out. So the one thing will be to how many squares can I draw, and then how to fill it. I'll draw 1, 2, 3, and then, oh, if I hit the edge, I'll need to come back. Ooh, I got a couple ideas for this, but let's go do some math. Okay, the scratch stage is, we said it's negative 240 to positive 240 in the x direction, side to side. And up and down, it's negative 180 to positive 180. And you're like, I don't know how to find out the size of that with negative numbers. That's scary. Well, then get rid of the negatives. This is a span not of 180, but of twice of 180. It's 360 tall. Okay, and this is not a span of 240. It's twice 240, from negative 240 to 0, and 0 to 240. What's twice of 240? It's 480. Okay, so we got a 360 by 480 grid. If I tell you to draw a 10 by 10 square, 10, just, you don't say 10 by 10, it's a square. A 10 size square, well, I can draw one up here, I'm kind of trying to, square, 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 square. How wide can I go? Well, this is 480 wide. What if I take the number 480 and chop it up by tens? What math is that? Pause. It's division, right? I'm dividing 480 by 10, and I get 48. I can draw 48 10-size triangles wide, and tall-wise, I could draw, well, 10 goes into 360, 36 times, okay? And it's not, these aren't magic numbers, it's finding the math that does it, okay? So it's a division. So this divided by size, tall, I could do that many tall, and this divided by size is how many I can put in the width, okay? Let's go try it. This is going to be funky, okay? So this draws the square. That's kind of sacred. I'm not going to touch it, but I am going to repeat drawing some squares. So I'm going to actually start at the top left. I'm going to go to, this is negative 240, and this is positive 180 up. Oops. Every time I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to draw a square there, and then I'm going to move. Okay, draw a square and move. And actually, I probably, draw a square and move, draw a square and move. Oh, this is harder than I thought. It's kind of fun, actually, but see if you can do this. I'm going to be repeating drawing squares. Okay, this is the draw a square block. I'm going to repeat that several times. Well, how many times? We already said. 480 divided by size. Let's go try it. Repeat. Where's my math? 480. Because that's a fixed number, right? The scratch stage is always 480 wide, but size changes every time. They tell us the size. Repeat 480 divided by size amount of times. Now, if I do this, it's going to draw 48 squares in the same spot. Let's go try it. Let's actually clear real quick. Click on her. Let's go 10. Oh, and our pen needed to come up at the end. Okay, and notice she's drawing square, 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 48 squares. She's spinning all over the place. But she did draw a nice little set of squares there, okay? So after we draw one square, we need to move a little bit. Now, if her direction is correct, if it's to the right, we can move steps. We could also try to be safe and change x. I'm actually going to do that, okay? Change x, not by 10, not by 5, not by... It's going to be about how far I need to move. Size. Let's try it. And put your pen up back there. Okay, so I'm going to click green flag to clear. Click on the sprite. Let's go 10 again. Boom. Oh, this makes me so happy. Okay, and I hope you're thinking Minecraft. You're thinking, how do I draw a bunch of squares, blocks in Minecraft? Well, this is kind of the math behind it, right? How big's your world? It's not always 480 in Minecraft. It could be different sizes. And these boxes don't have any properties yet, really. We can't really, chop them up or attack them or anything. But this is kind of the idea of, making squares in a world. And why is that pen up not working, darn it? Clear. And up. Oh. Because she goes 2 after the pen's down. There we go. All right. What do we do after this? We just drew 48 squares, and let's go test it with a different number. I'm going to clear it, and let's draw 11 squares and hit enter. And these got a little bigger. No, that's boring. Let's hit stop. Let's click on her. Oh, and she's not pointing the right way. This is actually going to break it. 30. That's kind of cool. It was a little bit off center, right? And yeah, that's kind of cool, but I'm going to have her point to the right every time. Point in direction right. There, now they won't be messed up. What needs to happen after you draw these 10? Well, we need to go back to the left side, right? We could go down and work our way back and forth. That would be kind of cool, but it's going to be harder to set that up in a program, okay? This video is getting long. I hope you're having fun. I'm gonna keep going. I wrote this assignment down a couple days ago and didn't realize how long it would take, but maybe I'll break it up into 2 videos. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Sprite 1 and 2, and then I'll pause it and do 3 and 4 in the next video. So let's finish this off. We just drew 1 row here, and check this out. I'm gonna have to come down and draw another row, and then come down and draw another row. So where this box is probably called draw a square, I'll label it for you. I'm going to label this one draw row. And rows go left to right, side to side. But okay, so what do I need after I draw a row? Well, I need another loop, right? I need to have another repeat here. And this is the crazy thing, is we're repeating outside. And I'm sorry, I should explain nested repeats better sometime, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn between explaining everything in programming and just showing you some cool stuff. Okay, so after she draws this first row that she was done here, right? At the end of this block, draw a row. We're coming out to this block. What does she need to do at the end of this row? Well, she obviously needs to go back to the left side, so let's go set x. She can teleport there. Set x to negative 240. That's the left side again. And that's putting her back here at the end. And that might actually work if I ended at the right spot. Let's try it. Let's click on it. Let's click clear. Try on her. She should fix herself. 30. Oh, I didn't hook it up. Okay, click on her. 30. I got 30. Okay, check that out. She ends up where she started, okay, because I'm such a good programmer. Not really, but she ended up where she started. She didn't just get over here. If she did get right there, she'd keep going, but she went back to this top corner and just drew the same set of squares again, right? And that we don't need to repeat this 10 times necessarily. I'm going to call this draw columns or draw all rows? Draw each row. Okay, so this outer loop is not going to repeat 10 times. Remember, this draws a square, repeats 4 times. This draws the row, which is 480 divided by size. How do I know? And let's call it the column. She's going to repeat here. And let's get this working before I fix it. Okay, repeat 10 times, whatever, some number. What needs to happen after she sets her x to negative 240? She doesn't just need to set her x to negative 240. She needs to set her y come down a bit, right? If she starts drawing the same squares, down a bit, it'll work. Well, how far down? Well, pause for a sec. Let's see if you can figure this out. She needs to come down, which is the y value, and it's going to be negative to go down. How much? Is she going to go 10, 20, 100? Well, Mr. Grammar, she's going to go negative size. If I say h squared is 10 in size, and she ends up here, I need to go down -10 or down 10. We could have her point down and move 10 steps. That would totally work, okay? But I'm trying to avoid all direction stuff. I kind of want to use some x's and y's here. So we're going to do a negative size, okay? -1 times size. And I hope this isn't losing you too much, but go down 10 or 20 or whatever the size is. Let's try it. Let's clear this thing off. And let's go size. Let's go big. Let's go 50. Okay, oops, and pen up didn't happen at the right time, but check that crap out. Now this is going to repeat 10 times, and these are 40. What's 10 times 40? It's 400. This is not 400 tall. It's 180 plus 180. It's 360 tall, so she actually went a little too far. So this 10 was a good guess, but it's not the right number. Let's repeat, and repeat it 3 times, and let's see if that's enough. Now let's go 10 this time. Oh, that's too slow. Come on. And we're going to repeat this 3 times. What are we going to get out of draw each row 3 times? We're going to get 1 row, 2 rows, and then 3 rows. While this is going, I want you to think, how do I fix this? How high do I need to go? Well, I can't choose a fixed number like 3 or 10 because the size changes every time. There's 3 rows for you. A couple of these look a little bit off. Oh, because it hits the side too soon. That's what it is. But can you figure this out? How much do I need to chop this up? If you need to go back to this picture, here it is. To go up and down, it's 180 plus 180. That's 360. The amount of times I need to draw squares is 360 lines divided by the size of each square. Okay? So I'm going to duplicate this. And it's 360 because up and down is 180 plus 180. Don't believe me? Look at these numbers down here. And let's try that. Let's clear it. Click on her. Oh, well, let's go big. Let's go 100. That way she won't draw so much. And our end one gets chopped up a bit. That's bad. And the bottom one got chopped up a bit. She couldn't go quite off the screen, which means my math is off. Is it off? The last square doesn't quite go. Basically, these numbers aren't always evenly divisible. Okay? I'm lying to you because 100 goes into 360. Oh, no, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, 4 times perfectly for 480, but then the last one gets chopped up by 20 pixels, right? 480 pixels instead of another 100, which would be 500. Anyway, that's kind of a long video. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to actually stop this now and put the next one in a different video, but it's going to be in the same project, okay? I'm going to clear everything out and put these on the side, but these Sprite 3 and Sprite 4 are going to be in the next video, okay? And we'll keep it clean, you know, just we won't look at these again, really. But I hope you're having fun. I'll leave this on here for a sec. There's the cat. There's Abby. If you followed me through this, you learned a lot, I hope. And if you just fast forward to the end, well, there's a special place prepared for you in the junior high school. Okay, see you in the next one.